right, welcome back. You're watching News Sources. Let's take it up from where we left you. And elsewhere, investigations on the National Youth Service scam took a drastic turn today after it was revealed that 17 more banks handled the illicit monies. Members of the House team said they received information from the Devolution Ministry that the banks have handled the cash since 2013. PAC has criticized the Director of Criminal Investigations and Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, saying the information should come from them. Let's shift and shuffle, if you like, corruptions, done with the Ministry of Health. Let's go down the road, the Ministry of Planning. Again, finally we have Ministry of Planning Devolution. Finally we have, expanding the scope of these investigations. We realized that this was such huge chunks of money that it was impossible for it just to have been carried by bags, by sheer, what did we say, by mere hairdressers. These monies actually, went to the banks.
People are not catwalking, they catwalked away from the banks to take away this money. But, I mean, this law has been there for some time now. And the kind of speed the DCI, the Director of Criminal Investigations, has come out, and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption to expand this scope of investigations is meant to keep on this thing, stretch it to a point where you cannot get any sense out of it. Remember, the Senate is investigating this, the National Assembly is investigating this, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption is on it, the Director of Public Prosecution is on it, and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption is also investigating this. You ask yourself, this multi-agency approach
it's supposed
to this,
to be confusing you, Dennis.
What is
it's supposed to be confusing you, and that is the bottom line. Yes. Now, there's nothing as easy as following where,
trail.
I mean, the money trail is very, very simple to follow. You give me money, and you can see from my bank accounts that I actually shared it with Smart, and then they shared. It should be so simple. Now, do we know who picked the money from the NYS, through whichever banks? Yes, we do. Why do we need to go to, look at the banks, and why it is not important? We're just trying. I think these agencies are trying to lose a trail so that everyone blames everyone else, and they are justified to have such a confusion.
I'll agree. In one instance, when I was doing this story, I think I met a lady, one of the accused. And what she said was, she questioned me. Why, for example, did Anne Waiguru summon the anti-banking fraud? Yeah? Yet the nature of password stealing has nothing to do with anti-banking. It's something like ICT experts. There's like a section within CID that deals with the ICT that should have been, which was best placed to come and investigate this matter. What that means is that there's a whole lot of effort, again, to mislead, to misdirect, and to cheat the public.
So what you'll agree with me that the DCI, the Director of Criminal Investigations, first quickly came up with an investigation and fingered a few officials from the Ministry of Planning and Devolution, and the CS was on standby to get this report, and she sent them packing for some time. She recommended investigation of these people, and that matter tried to end there, but it didn't end there. But his own head of banking fraud, Mr. Mugwanja, is accused in a court document that we are privy to of stealing 80 million shillings from Kabura in cash. He carried this money away and catwalked out of Kabura's house.
And actually, money. It's not 80.
Yes.
It is supposed to be 130. There's another lady who walked away there. Is it 50 and...
Well, where does this leave us? I mean, we don't have to go to the banks.
And the Standard carried the story, I think, on the 3rd of January this year. It was in the Standard, 130 million shillings in haste by the same guy you're mentioning.
Police stealing exhibits.
Dennis, in 30 seconds or less, truth is, corruption, contrary to popular opinion, does not need to be told, what should I do? Corruption is in government. This process starting IFMIS and all these things are in government. The government does not need to look outside. It needs to look inside. Because all these monies were transferred from accounts and went to bank accounts before they got into tracts.
Actually, from CBK accounts.
Yes. So
to commercial bank accounts.
So we
the
should be
biggest bank in the land.
Yeah. So the documents are within the government. We go inside.
Straight from the Deputy President's mouth to that of Senator Kipchumba Murkomen. The Senator is asking, just like his boss did the other day, why did the opposition not use the so-called stolen billions when its leaders were in government? The senator is both daft and callous. Just listen to this man.
I want to remind the opposition, because they like shouting about corruption. They say we have stolen a lot of money. But there is a one question to meuliza. Hii pesa wanasema tumeiba. Hii pesa ilikuwa wapi when they were in government and they were not doing anything using that money?
You go first.
Dennis, you know, Waswahili husema siku ya kufa kwa nyani miti yote huteleza. This is exactly what's happening to my good friend Kipchumba Murkomen. They've run out of lies. They've told all the lies in the world. But like what they say, you know, the truth that you plant it and you put it down there, and you've put it and you cannot claim anything. It germinates. While you're just sitting there and dancing on top of it. That's what's happening.
Yeah, that is important because, again, it is not the opposition that is mentioning him. It's one Anne Waiguru, right?
Let's be clear.
Yes, be clear. It's not the opposition. It's Anne Waiguru who has, with a very clear mind, in a very well-structured and clear statement.
In fact, perhaps if I can quote her,
yes.
What she said is the amount of money that Murkomen received, if it were to be legal fees, Murkomen would have sold 10 equivalents of KICC. I mean, it would be such a huge transaction
Jesus.
to justify
I didn't hear
the amount
that.
Yes.
Yes.
It will have been such a huge transaction because legal fees, you don't just get legal fees.
No.
They are pegged on,
Yes.
there's
A
a
percentage,
rate.
a percent
Yeah, there's a
of,
rate.
yeah.
So there's really no way you'd say that you received legal fees from Kabura or Gethi or wherever. And I mean, the amounts were really, really big.
Yes.
So it's an absolute lie. So Murkomen should probably, and I really hate his arrogance. How do you say that we are claiming you're stealing? Boss, that is our money we are talking about, not your...
No, this man is saying, his boss was
Yes.
saying the other day that, you know what, you keep on saying we have stolen money, but we have built SGR, we are building roads, we're doing ABC and D. So
Show me one road funded by the government of Kenya.
I don't know.
Just one.
They have said they have done 10,000 kilometers of
Yes,
tarmac.
all of them we've mortgaged ourselves to the Chinese. The Chinese have done every single big project you can imagine. SGR, the only money that Kenya government put in was to compensate land, the landowners who were displaced. And most likely, most of them were government officials or something. Now, Outer Ring Road is funded 100% by World Bank and I think for China Exim. Think of any single major project. We have. It's like going home and saying, well, I went to the bank, got a loan of 10 million and bought this Range Rover. So you actually boasting to your kids and telling them.
Or the teller receiving the money and
Yes,
that he
it's my money. It is not.
Smart, this is what Kipchumba is saying, and this is what his boss said the other day, that, you know what, forget this stealing. Okay, forget it. Forget this noise about us stealing money, ABC and D. Look at what we have done. Okay, look at how we have transformed this country. There are more people connected with the power grid. There are more people now placed
Even
on
that is
pension
that is a scandal. Mark my words.
You
Even that
can't
is a
see
scandal.
anything good with this government, Smart. Honestly, the only thing you can see is 5.2 billion shillings and 19 billion shillings from NYS. You can't see anything else.
Unfortunately, this country has too many poor people, and today there are many people who are going to bed sleeping hungry. There are many people who are in hospital today who are dying. So that argument does not really wash. That is someone who's already eaten and is full and is asking you, why are you standing there and looking at me? So that argument does not wash. This country and a person in that office has a responsibility to work for each and every single Kenyan.
And Murkomen, he calls himself daughter a pastor. His father was a clergy. So I also
he's a disappointment to his dad.
He's
and
ashamed,
in fact, he was to ask him something. Senator, will you please respond directly to Waiguru's statement? Yeah. You were given a lot of money. What was it for?
Yes.
And I don't know why the park of the National Assembly is treating you with kid glove. Appear there and tell us why you received so much money. What was it exactly for?
And actually, he has raised a very important point. I think on Sunday I was reading a story in one of the papers. At the park has a dilemma over someone.
Yes, that was actually my story.
Which dilemma? If you have been mentioned and if you think you are not guilty. Please avail yourself and defend your money.
Then again, that is where the stupid politics comes in. So we have a section of the
You have 10
MPs
seconds.
who are from the others, who are from the coalition that has been mentioned, and they're like, no, we shouldn't be inviting our people here. That is going to be humiliating. It is not humiliating. That is
All
our
right.
money. If they look at it
And
like
how
that.
to come clean. The
Yes.
only way to come clean.
Gentlemen,
Well, that's so interesting.
just let's shift focus a bit. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has left the country today. Early today, I should say, what is reported to be another round for campaigning to have his Foreign Affairs CS, Ambassador Amina Mohammed, take the AU leadership. Now, Kenya has been involved in shuttle diplomacy in bid to have countries support the candidature of Amina Mohammed. Deputy President William Ruto spent the entire of last week shuffling in between West African countries. So what do we have to stand or to gain from her election and her candidature? Dennis.
I need to understand. I think media has failed us on this because they keep on saying we want Amina Mohammed to become the chairlady. I think of the African Union.
Commission.
African Commission.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what we stand to gain. I don't know whether if she becomes chair.
No, I can tell you. I
don't know.
can tell you there's a lot to gain.
Should we gain
The
anything?
political class
Yes.
are not in touch with our needs. Those guys, for them, flying private jets is really, really important. The problem is they're not flying with their own money. They're flying with our money. So for them, I mean, there has to be a really long explanation why we need the position of chair of a African Union Commission. That commission, to me,
What is this thing? I mean, we have the vice chairperson, I think,
Yeah.
from this country. Kenya is vice
Yes.
in this.
No, let us also
there is
be slow.
absolutely
Probably,
nothing AUC will.
let us for once give.
Honestly, even me, I would really love to say something positive about
Let
this
us
government.
give Jubilee some small marks, right?
Okay,
That
which one?
the desire to have Amina sitting at AU Commission, I think it's a fantastic idea. That's
Right,
100%.
Right.
But the way they are going about it is wrong. And my problem is that we are spending money to front a candidate or a person who, as our foreign minister, has been a catastrophic failure.
I don't
that one I will-
I don't exactly share that. But
Ibrahim,
No, she has been-
no.
but
You see,
I
again,
can tell you
you need
something.
a science.
No,
Think
I
about
think
mathematics,
Ibrahim,
you arrive
I'll
there.
stop you there because
okay,
I
yes,
mean,
I
if
can-
it
Yeah.
wasn't for Amina Mohammed,
Yeah.
The
we could
ICC
not
or
have defeated
whatever.
ICC. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes,
look at
that's
it
true.
that way.
That's
We
true.
defeated ICC
ICC, yes.
at 6 a.m. in the
Yes,
morning
yes.
because of this lady.
Yes.
She did a
But
wonderful
it's
Yes.
job.
nothing to be proud of.
Yes.
But what I can say is, if we actually attach so much value to having the position of AU chairman, come on, the man on the street doesn't know what AU
you know what?
AU Commission is.
Kenya's not a
What
small
does it stand
country.
for?
Kenya is not a small
I think
country.
this lady is extremely competent. I think
We are not
she's-
Yes,
competent.
that we agree.
Competent.
That we agree.
It's-
But
it's-
what
it's-
does it?
it's part
What
of
does
what's
the
being
AU
presented
Commission
there.
bring to
Where
you?
does Smart leave?
Yeah.
One.
I like Amina. too.
No,
I
for
think she's
example,
competent.
the
Yes,
reason,
well, like,
the
the
reason why
competence
she's,
as
for
well.
me, she's a failure, let us just look at what is happening now. Our problem with the South Sudan. We are pulling out our troops. The president is behaving like a rogue. Kenya has become a rogue state in the world. Yeah? We were fighting everybody. We have pulled troops out of Southern Sudan. One failure is that a country called South Sudan is our baby. We created it. We have huge investments in that country. But now, because of her failing to advise the president, we are pulling out of the peace process, the troops, and all that.
I think you're entitled to that opinion. For me, I might be biased.
10 seconds,
Yes, I
Michelle.
might be
10
biased
seconds,
because
yeah.
I have interacted with her, and we have hosted TCAD, we've hosted all those things, all the nice things the Jubilee government wants to talk about. But if you ask me, what is the exact value of having the AU Commission? Zero.
No, there's a pride element.
So
in it.
Gentlemen,
yes,
gentlemen,
so we're actually
I
going to
think this is a
spend a
discussion
billion
for another day.
for
The discussion for another day,
pride.
maybe.
It will be better if she was a competent person.
The discussion for another
Sorry.
day, gentlemen. Finally, and in Nanyuki Matatu operators, they start their day by kneeling down, praying and praising God. The Matatu operators say they are not only praying for their daily bread, but that for God to save this country. Gentlemen, Smart, hapa ndio ufisadi imetufikisha.
First, we must acknowledge that it's a good gesture. I think this country needs
Yes.
real prayers, real ones. No, not the ones that we conduct, while crying on one hand and the other one you're looking at NYS monies. So it's a good gesture. I hope that we can have most of these acts conducted in offices like this one, where Oruko comes from, and that sort of thing. I think prayers do something. Oruko.
Yeah, yeah. And one, it looks very genuine. Yeah, very genuine. There's no motivation to kneel down. It is from their hearts. Yeah, and for this country to move, I think maybe this is the beginning of the reclaiming our
Finally,
country.
Mishira, do you
Well,
want us to
yes,
pray or you want to say something?
Well, I would love to pray for Bernard Mushere so that we have more of them and pray for his protection from these vultures and from these criminals.
Smart, we must end this.
All right, we must end there. Thank you very much for watching the program. Again, tomorrow, ladies' night, you're watching News Sources. Good evening. Up next is Kitchen Prime. Don't go too far.